episode of the J&J Power Hour. We're winging it today. We got no plan. We have absolutely no plan of what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be a fun hour. I can tell you that, because when we have no plan, we both have the ability to have verbal diarrhea. We both do. So this is going to be, we don't know whether we're going to talk about wrestling. We don't know whether we're going to talk about life in general, food, boobies. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about something. But how's 2022 treating you? At time of recording, it's only been a few days, but it is the first episode of the year. How was your New Year's?
New Year's was good. Very low key, obviously, with everything going on. We got COVID spikes galore over here.
Oh yeah, us too. Don't worry.
I mean, it's everywhere, but so obviously, like, very mild. It didn't like go out or do anything crazy, but it was a good tame weekend. First day back at work of the new year. Today was good. So, can't complain. So far, so good. So far, so good.
Yeah, COVID's going crazy. We won't spend too much time on COVID, but last week when we talked about COVID, I remember saying to you, New South Wales has like 5,000 cases a day. Victoria's getting like 5,000. South Australia, 2,000. Yeah, that's not anymore. New South Wales recorded 24,000 cases of COVID yesterday. We're getting nearly hundreds of thousands of cases a day nationwide. And from talking to me that was not a thing in this country at all. So we're in the peak of our pandemic right now. I think the world can nearly say that we're nearly at a peak of it in terms of the actual amount of cases, but everyone's vaccinated. Well, not everyone. Most people are vaccinated, and that's a good thing. So hopefully
the two good things are
just hang on a little bit longer and we can get past this and it will
just get through. Just get through the wave, and then hopefully we're somewhere on the other side. But the two good things are, a lot of people are vaccinated, which helps. And apparently this variant, which is the one that's getting everybody, is not, at least so far, is not as deadly / powerful as the first one.
Yeah,
we were all,
that's what we can only pray and hope for, is that it just, this is it's a necessary thing to get us kind of not immune.
Get us all through it. Like, if you get it, you get it. Be safe. But like, let's get over the hump. And then hopefully, in a month or two, we're like, okay, like, let's onward and upward.
Wear a mask, get the jab, stay safe. That's all we'll preach on that. But moving on from that, we will touch on day one a little bit, just because it happened this past week. I know that we're recording before Raw and everything could change. You know how everything is. But day one, a lot of people seem to. I watched it later. I did not watch it live. I was busy.
I watched it delayed as well.
Yeah, I watched it delayed as well. Sometimes it's a little better because you have to stay off Twitter and you just get to watch it, and you don't take in other people's
your own opinion.
I liked the show. A lot of people seem to bitch on it, I think purely because of the ending of the show. But I genuinely didn't think there was anything like bad. There was a couple of really great things, but nothing was poor on the show. I kind of liked that there was only 6 matches, to be honest with you. That pay-per-view was under 3 hours.
I felt like it flowed well.
Oh, when I got home,
it flowed well.
When I got home from work and I turned on the network and seen the timestamp, I was like 2 hours 49 minutes. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Like, that's I don't mind a long show sometimes, but like for a B-level pay-per-view, I'm just like, cool.
Yeah, like, you want to give me a 4-hour Royal Rumble pay-per-view? Yeah. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, you want to give me Mania? They do the 2 nights now, which I actually prefer to the 1 8-hour show.
We fight.
I know
on
you
that.
don't.
We're gonna fight on that until wait till Mania
sorry.
season, guys. Me and JPJ are probably gonna argue. About
we're just arguing like, damn it, it should be 2 days. No, but during when they were in the dome, the Thunderdome.
Oh,
those pay-per-views, some of those were like 2 hours and 25. I was like, beautiful. They were ending at like 9:30 at night for me.
Bro, they were
on the East Coast, so everything
before lunchtime for me. You know how nice it was? I could get it smacked out in the morning, and then I had the whole day to myself.
Yeah. So I'm on the East Coast in the States, so everything is later for me. Everything starts prime time for the West Coast. They want everything to start at 7, 8, or 9 for the West Coast. So like, it's later for me. So pay-per-views end at 11:30, midnight. Those long WrestleManias go till 1 in the morning here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like for pay-per-views during that Thunderdome era, they were ending at like 9:30 or 10. I was like, oh my God.
Queen
like,
said the same thing. Queen of NE on Twitter.
yeah.
Me and her are
She's
very
from the New
close.
England area. Same thing. Yeah.
She was like, you know how nice if it's Sunday night and she's having to get up to go to work on a Monday morning, she's like,
exactly.
you know how nice it was to be done with wrestling by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, especially
bed.
like, and for me, I work in the coffee industry.
Exactly.
So my mornings are early mornings.
Mm-hmm.
So for it to be over at 9:30 or 10 and me being like, oh my, thank you. It's not going till 11:30 when I got to get up at 4. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that a lot. And like this year, they're having a shit ton of Saturday pay-per-views, which I love. I know it'll be Sunday for you. I'm sorry.
And it's hard because I work retail and Sundays are just the day that I work. So like Mondays are always a free day for you. It's everyone loves them and I'm just like,
yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah, it's
be
clearly
fair,
a different scenario for you.
To be
but
fair,
in general, for me, I'm like, Saturday.
All the big pay-per-views I mark off. I'm like, that's a personal day. I don't want to work. And my boss is like, I don't have to lie to him or anything. He's just like, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
You want that? He's like, I don't give it. You can have a day to scratch your ass if you want.
Your boss let you go home for your lunch hour to
He's
see
a good dude.
Like he knows.
He knows, and he's just like, I don't care what. He's really good with like, I don't care what you ask for. If you just want a day of rest, as long as you give me enough notice, I don't care. Like,
do what you want.
Do what you, as long as you got the annual kind of leave into your your thing to take it. Be my guest. Like, so I've already booked the I booked the Royal Rumble off. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
I've got Mania booked off. I think I got Revolution booked off. Like, there's just some things that I want to make sure that I have booked off. But like day one, I wasn't gonna ask. No offense, like the card was fine, but it's not like it's a major pay-per-view. Like, I was not asking for that off, but I got to come.
It was not a major pay-per-view at all, but a major story came out of it, obviously, because of the Roman situation. And that's again, I
all people, by the way, to get COVID.
I know. Well, exactly. With his past, like I'm assuming he's okay.
Well,
and he'll be okay.
At least at time of recording, we don't know anything that's going to take place in the next few days. But at the time of recording,
but I'm hoping I'm hoping he's fine. It is what it is. But of all the people with his history, it's like, man, it's of all the people in more ways than one. It's of all the people, first and foremost, for his health, with him obviously being a cancer survivor multiple times. And then 2, he's the dude. He's the top drawer. He's the guy.
The top story going into day one.
He's been the top story for a year and a half. You know what I mean? Like,
rightfully so.
And he's supposed, and then, and I mean, we're going to talk about it. So, and then what that situation turned into, with Lesnar getting added to a completely different show's world title match.
I do like how they explained, by the way, it was really nice for WWE to actually explain to me why Brock was eligible to be added in that match, because he's a free agent. Yeah, like, at least that's all. How many times have you and I said on this show, like, it takes 20 seconds to just go, oh my God, this person is here because of this reason. And then I'm like, cool, you have an explanation. Just sometimes they do stuff and they don't tell you why. You're just left going like, wait, hold up. Like, they just said, hey, because of Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar is a free agent. He can go on any show that he chooses fit. And I'm like, thank you. Like, just that took literally 15 seconds of his promo. And I was like, cool, no problem. It completely justified why he's in this is now a 5-way. By the way, when I seen that, because obviously I seen it before I dipped out of Twitter, like before I went to work for the day, I was like, oh, Brock's not going to win. But then there's always that part of you with Brock Lesnar. You go, you can never really count out. There's a few people within the WWE world where you go, oh, I don't think so, but like, I'm not going to say no, you're not going to win. Like him, I think Charlotte Flair is probably in that conversation.
100%.
There's a few others. Cena was in that conversation.
I mean, he's not regular. He's not,
But like, Cena was always kind of in that zone of like, ooh, I don't think he's going to win, but like, he might win. And Brock's
John Cena, he might.
That person. But we'll talk about the other matches in a second, but because we're here, Fatal 5-Way. We won't spend too long on day one, guys. We'll move on soon. But just for purely, we don't know what's going to happen on Raw, so we don't want stuff to say that sounds redundant. But that Fatal 5-Way was like 1,000 miles an hour from the get-go.
Yeah, it was.
I will say something.
It was short.
And which I don't mind. I think it was a good
don't
length.
Yeah.
I will say something, and this might really, or I don't want to like upset anybody because people love AEW, and that's purely fine. But I don't think that. Oh, I'm really nervous to say this because I don't want it to come across as like dumb. But when WWE do multi-man matches, I don't think anyone does them better.
That's fair.
Like a four-way, like a
it's
WWE four-way, five-way,
they do 'em
six-way.
good.
My God, they know the formula for those matches and they just get it. Like, okay, AEW and other places, they do book things way better. They have better one-on-one matches. They let things kind of breathe. They do it better.
Yeah.
But when you give me a 4 5-way triple threat, whatever, a multi-man WWE match in the main event slot, like I go, I don't think there's going to be too much better than that on this card. Like they know the formula for that and they get it. Like I don't want to come across as like a WWE shill or whatever, but I'm not a company bias guy. I watch it with a bit of everything, but I just don't think. I don't think that too many people do them better. Is that like just dumb of me to say?
I think that's. I would say that's correct. I can't remember the last time there's been a multi-person match that's been bad. You know what I mean?
WWE,
like when it comes to WWE,
a WWE triple threat match. A triple threat is my favorite.
It's
I love a triple
always
threat.
good.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
like,
it's usually
how many
one of my
times-
favorite match.
Oh, well, go on. No, go on.
One of my favorite matches in the last. Again, I'm not good with time, so it could be longer than this, but I'm gonna say within the last 5 or 6 years is the Rollins, Cena, Lesnar Royal Rumble triple threat
literally
match.
about to say that.
Incredible.
That is one of my favorite. There's a common denominator in all of these matches. Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. Yeah, because he's really good, and a lot of people hate him, and they shouldn't. Because he's really good.
Every single person in that 5-way shined. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Lashley and Lesnar has been a match that a lot of people have talked about for a long time. I was never like, I wasn't against it, but I was never like, give it to me. Now I'm like, okay, Mania. Give it to me at Mania.
So this is going to open up it because we talked about a little bit last week. You got a big Rumble guys, and we were talking about, hey, I really don't know who's going to win the men's Rumble now. Well, I think Bobby Lashley just shot up the list.
It depends what happens on Raw, because there is a 4-way on Raw between the now Big E.
The other 4, yeah. But I would think Big E would get the shot at the Rumble, right? Because they don't do automatic rematches, but I think they did. I think they did wrong by Big. That was not an impressive title reign. He should have been. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but I feel like they built they WWE always makes moments. They always make moments, right? Big E cashing in was the moment, right? But then afterwards, they're just totally fine with being like, yeah, there's really not a ton of thought into what happens after. We just really want this moment. And
yeah, okay, yes. WWE they book moments. Obviously, they book on the fly as well because Brock Lesnar was not scheduled for. Well, correct. To be fair, though, we don't know how early in the day Roman tested positive. We don't know how long they had to kind of plan this, but I don't think they.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm looking down at my phone because I'm looking at the day one card because I'm just like, I just want to make sure that I'm going to touch on the things that I want to touch on. But yeah, the Fatal 5-Way, wild. I thought it was really, really fun, as you would expect. The ending was what it was. I didn't think that listen, even with that kind of like, will Brock win? Will not Brock win? I still was like, oh my God, Brock actually fucking won. He pinned Big E. I thought if anyone was going to eat the fall in that match, it would have been like Rollins or something. You know what I mean? Because it's Rollins, and Rollins is a character that can lose and then win the WWE title the next day, and I'll be like, yeah, that makes sense. It won't matter. By the way, I kind of dip back and forth on Seth. Seth is really fucking good at wrestling.
Oh, he's great.
Kevin Owens really fucking great at wrestling too. Both of them.
I'm really digging
their
this
unit.
current Seth Rollins.
Do you like their unit of this kind of loose alliance between Owens and Rollins? Would you like to see this continue? Because I think it could be Jericho Owens-esque-ish. I'm not saying well, actually, it could be comedic.
No, I think they could have good comedy. Owens is funny. Rollins is too. I mean,
Rollins is funny too.
Oh yeah. I honestly like, and this is where I'm going to gush about Kevin Owens.
I love Owens too, so you can.
I do. He's my favorite guy on the main roster. He has been since he
really?
basically showed up. Yeah. He can. The thing with Rollins is great too. The thing
By the way,
with
we'll
Owens
gush
is,
over Seth Rollins as well.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I could gush over all 5 of the dudes that were in this main event. If you want to be honest, like those are 5 of the top, whatever. You know what I mean? Like those guys are 5 all timers to me. And it's just like
you add Roman in there, and I think you've got your top 6 in the company. Male,
I think so. Yeah. I would say Roman and then AJ. I think would probably be right and like, but they're all but those 6 guys are the 6. Yeah, you add Roman. For me, his whole career, they give Owens anything, and he fucking kills it.
Yeah, he really
fucking
does.
kills it. They want him to be a funny guy.
He's adaptable.
Yeah, they want him to be a funny kind of good. He's a great baby face. He's a great heel. I think he's a better heel, but most people are, I think. But like, he's a better heel, but he's a really good baby face. I thought, and they had him doing the stunner, which I thought was a little cheeky for me. But I thought Owens was the type of guy that like he could get that Stone Cold Steve Austin crowd behind. Yeah. He's a regular guy. He gives a shit about his family. And that's real life. That's not just a shtick. Like family's most important.
Loves his cats, by the way. He loves his cats.
Oh yeah, which is a good trait because you and I both love our cats.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean this as a negative, but he looks like a normal person.
He looks like the guy next door.
Not, correct. Like he's definitely in shape. He can have lights out matches. He does flips. He jumps off a ton of shit.
By the way, like when you look like that, you should not be able to do some of the stuff that Kevin Owens does.
Yeah.
He just looks like regular Joe from down the street.
Exactly. He just looks like your neighbor, but he'll beat the shit out of you. And that's just, but like anything they've ever given him, even when it was chicken shit, he's turned it into chicken. He's made it work because he's adaptable.
That's how I feel really about Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is my guy.
Yeah, Sami Zayn's the same way. Sami Zayn I would really like them. I know they're currently on separate shows.
Just put him back. Just
I would like them to be tag team champion. And I know Owen said it when he re-signed. He openly said it.
Was it on? It was on the day one show in his promo. He was like, "Sami Zayn, my soulmate, my."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yes."
At some point, they need to be a tag team and they need to be tag team champions.
It will happen.
It has to.
It has to happen at some point.
They got their Mania match against each other last year, which was great.
Yeah.
And I
agree.
But I agree. Sami Zayn is like that. Sami Zayn is another one where they give him whatever, and he's like, "All right, I'll make it work. I'll make it work." And they have a lot of guys and girls on the roster that can do that.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Owens to me is like, they've given Owens a ton of different things to do.
Muy bien, as on my Twitch streams.
And he just nails it. Yeah, muy bien. And he just nails it all the time. And I'm actually, I'm an AEW mark. Like, I love AEW. They can do, like, as of right now, they do very rarely things wrong for me.
Well.
But at the same time, I'm kind of happy he re-signed with WWE.
I am too. He fits. He is a different flavor of ice cream for WWE.
Yeah.
That's how I would put it.
And they need people that aren't all the same.
Especially in the main event scene, because it can get a little.
I would like him to be champion somewhere sooner than later.
I know,
because he should have been by the time he was the second ever Universal champion, and then he hasn't held the main title since, and it's been like years. Like, I think he deserves better than that. A little bit. I think
so too.
I think it'll come.
I mean, he's great. You mentioned some ladies. Let's talk about the only ladies match from day one, which I'm still a little bit sour on. But Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. First thing I'll note from that match, Liv Morgan is getting over.
Mm-hmm. Crowd likes her. They have for a while.
Good. That's a good thing. It means this is working. I thought they had a way better match than they had on Raw a few weeks ago.
I agree.
Liv Morgan has come leaps and bounds. That sunset flip, springboard, powerbomb variation thing was gnarly. That timing on that thing was 100% perfect. Because when she did it, I was like, oh, this isn't going to work. She's trying to be too creative. And then it worked. And I was like, wow, everything worked on that spot. That was the standout kind of spot for me in that match. Okay, the match was really fun. The crowd was really into it, which is what I want. They want Liv. I think they could still, I didn't want Liv to win at day one. I think I told you that. I was like, let's just
No, you
keep
can
it
build that out.
going.
You can give a rumble. You can do through the rumble. You can
I think
you
this
can build this
to Mania. Now they did botch the finish very badly. Becky
yeah, it was a
missed
little
the
rough.
ropes, and it kind of just, if any, it doesn't hurt Becky. It hurts Liv because she just got beat clean.
Yeah.
I know that she
They
obviously they can kind of go with it and be like, you tried to cheat, or they can do something in the match where Becky tried to cheat and stuff like that. I know they got other avenues, but that wasn't good.
No, it wasn't.
And it was such a great match, and I was like, oh,
I was going to say,
for
me, it turned a great match into a good match.
Yep.
And that's just really...
A great match can be great, right? But if you have a very average finish,
yeah,
you may as well just shit the bed.
And again, it's one of those things where if that finish goes off as planned, I just think that's a match that's more memorable for the evening. And I feel like now when you talk, when you go to people and you go, hey, did you watch day one? Whether they liked it or not, they'll be like, yeah, the Fatal 5-Way was good, and the New Day and Usos was good. But other than that, it was And it's like, well, no, the women's match was really good. Just the finish was really fucked.
And that was
just...
Listen.
That was it.
That was just placing being off, but that was... I don't want to say this because I don't want to sound biased towards Liv because I love Liv because I also love Becky, but that was on Becky.
Oh, yeah.
That was 100%.
She missed her cue or missed the... Yeah.
They just misplaced their
like
step footing and... Yeah. Oh, man,
and
it's
don't get me wrong. There's no harm in losing clean to someone like Becky Lynch.
And they can still... It's not hard to just book around this and
go... But at the same time, if it goes off the way it's supposed to go off, it's a completely different...
I really, really hope now...
Different.
Actually, to be honest, now that she's lost it, now I hope Becky fights someone else at the Rumble. Give me whoever, whether it's, I don't know, Rhea Ripley or any, it literally does not matter who she fights at the Rumble. But now it's like Liv should be, okay, I lost. I'm going to fight my way back to where I need to be. And I know what I have to do. I have to win the Royal Rumble. You can literally, which they don't do that often anymore, is book a Royal Rumble around one person and have it almost seem like predictable that Liv's going to do this. And it seems so predictable that you're like, oh my God, is Liv going to do this? Give her a victory from number one. You know what I mean? Like, have this Royal Rumble be Liv Morgan's Royal Rumble. Like, remember the year that Becky won the Royal Rumble when she come out and took Lana's place because she was hurt? And that, we all knew, like, Becky, if Becky's in this, Becky's going to win the Royal Rumble. It was Becky's year. 100%. You could make Liv Morgan's year. I know there's a lot of other people that kind of can... my sentimental, like, heart... What my heart wants is Liv Morgan to win. I don't know if my brain necessarily agrees with my heart, but you could make this... I just feel... I've said this so many times, and I just feel like I'm just batting a dead horse here, but my God, Liv Morgan has the chance to be their next, like, big baby face, and it's not by any stretch of the means ruined, and she's not buried or anything like that, but, like... You can do this and just don't fuck it up.
Yes. We, as wrestling fans, we've been clamoring. You know, when we talk about the WWE, specifically the WWE's main roster, main women's roster. Yeah. It's the 4 horsewomen and everyone else. That's what everyone's been saying forever. The only way you build new stars, like all 4 of those women can lose big time matches, and it is not going to affect them whatsoever.
It's literally in one of them's name. Big time is one of their names. They can lose. It doesn't matter.
Literally, you know how you make big stars? By having them beat those 4 women in big matches. You know why Bianca Belair is a star? Because A, she won the Royal Rumble, and she beat Sasha Banks at WrestleMania
and she beat
for the friggin'
Becky
title.
Lynch. Has she beat Becky?
No, she has not beat Becky.
She's beat Charlotte.
No.
She's beat Bayley.
She beat Charlotte. She wrestled all 4 of them this calendar year.
And took them all to their limits, by the way.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair is now in that conversation of another person. Asuka is in that conversation.
You know how you do that?
Because she's beat them all.
You built this. Yes, Asuka, same thing. So you built Asuka to kind of, it's the 4 horsewomen and Asuka. Then you built Bianca. So now you have the 4 horsewomen, Asuka and Bianca. You know how you keep on building stars? You have someone like Liv Morgan beat Becky Lynch.
And by the way, guys, that doesn't
ain't gonna hurt Becky Lynch.
That doesn't mean that Liv Morgan should go out and beat Becky Lynch on her first attempt. No. That doesn't mean winning every time. You have to let the heel get a few up on. I want so much sympathy on Liv Morgan that we are desperate for Liv Morgan to finally beat Becky Lynch. Have Becky just Becky Lynch, while a lot of people don't agree that she should have turned heel, and that's a very solid argument, the way you get her over as a heel, and I think she's doing a great job, is to be everything that she claimed that she wasn't 2 years ago. She was anti-system. She was, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that I do things the right way. I'll be a fighting champion. Now she's the opposite. I am the system. I'm not the man anymore. I am now big time. I'm bigger than this. I don't need to fight everybody. And if I need to, I'm going to win by any means necessary. That to me is a great, at least a WWE's great heel. And I think she's doing a great job of that. I didn't want Liv Morgan to win on Raw. I didn't want Liv Morgan to win at day one. I want Liv Morgan to win the Royal Rumble. I want Liv Morgan to have that Mania moment that Becky had 3 years ago. And we're like, holy fuck. The destination is not the best part of wrestling. We know that. It's the journey. Let's prolong this as long as we can. And I think you can with this story. And okay, yeah, she lost at day one. They mucked up the finish. It really does. It's irrelevant to me because Becky walked away as the Raw Women's Champion, which is what my heart may necessarily not have wanted because I love Liv Morgan. But my brain goes, as a wrestling fan, goes, oh, but this is a good thing because now we want Liv Morgan to win. But the thing is with WWE, they're very good at this, is WWE make their baby faces look like fucking morons.
Oh my God.
So many occasions.
All the time.
Tony Storm, who decided just like, bye. I'm
See you later. I'm done with this shit. I'm going home.
I'm going home.
Good for her.
I don't think it was a booking thing, to be completely honest. I think it generally was just like, I've had enough. I just want to go away for a little while and whatever. But she fought Charlotte Flair for however the last couple of months, and she had that match on SmackDown on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
And she looked like a fucking loser. The reason WWE don't have solid baby faces outside of the very top echelon of talent is because they make them look like dweebs. They make them look pathetic. And I don't care. It makes me go, well, I agree with the... Why are WWE baby faces so fucking dumb? They're stupid idiots. They're literally dumbasses that I'm like...
Yeah.
It doesn't make me feel sympathy for them. It makes me feel like pity. I'm like, I pity you because you're just a fucking loser. I don't relate to that because I think a lot of us see, like, we've all been in those situations before, yes, but the people we idolize in wrestling, or really anything, is the people that are heroes, the people that are like, we want to be them. Like, why does everyone love Spider-Man? Because we want to shoot fucking webs out of our fucking fingers and we want to have cool powers. It's not because he's like a fucking everyday next door guy. Sure, that's relatable, but we want elements of like what we want in life. And I don't think, I'm pretty certain I can speak for majority of the human population would said, I don't want to be a fucking loser.
No.
I don't want to be a dweeb.
No.
I want to be someone that's larger than life. Like, that's what I want in wrestling. Why did Hulk... I know everyone hates Hulk Hogan now, and as you should. But Hulk Hogan worked in the 1980s because he was America. He was bigger than everybody. He was this larger-than-life guy that were like, we want to look like Hulk Hogan. We want to be like Hulk Hogan. John Cena, why did that work for children for so long? Because he's made out of fucking clay, and he beat everybody. That's why it worked. So, like, yes, okay, you don't have to win every match, and I want heels to get one up on the baby faces because it builds sympathy, and I'm like, I feel for that. Like, they're cheating, but they're losing because the heels are cheating, not because they're fucking losers, because they're fucking idiots. It's just WWE don't know the balance in that, and I know that's a little bit of a ranty rant, but and I apologize.
It's true though, but yeah, because they do though. Like, how many times have we seen a good guy or I don't know, a baby face get distracted and get rolled up for a pin, or this, or it's just like the way they book certain things. Yeah, it's the same thing. Oh, someone's music hits, so let me stop. I'm in a match trying to win, trying to outlast in a fight. Whether it's a fight, I'm trying to win. Oh, someone's music is turning on. Okay, let me stop everything I'm doing and act shocked. Oh God, what is this? And then I get rung up and rolled up and look like an idiot. Or they just you're right. You're 100% right, and I think that's goes along to the greater problem of why they
WWE
haven't been
baby
able to
faces look like
build
fucking
stars in
idiots. Yeah.
15 years. Yeah, they haven't been able to build a real star
Look at
since
Roman.
John
He's a
Cena.
heel now, and he's awesome.
Yeah,
but he's a heel.
yeah, but look at they also had Roman 5 years ago or whenever it was saying "suffering succotash" in a friggin' promo. Roman Reigns, who now you look at that guy and even if you're not a wrestling fan, you see Roman Reigns and you're like, who the hell is that guy? Who's that? I want to know what's his deal.
I know.
It's like, yeah,
it's a problem.
It's
It's a massive
big
problem.
time. It's a big problem.
Last thing on day one, people were very indifferent on Edge and Miz. I didn't mind it. I liked the slow kind of pace that it brought. And it gave me the build to essentially a mixed tag match, which I think that's what they're building towards, maybe at the Rumble between Miz and Maurice and Edge and Beth. Beth Phoenix looked like a scary son of a bitch when she came out. I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to fight her.
She had the hairstyle of the, what the hell's that video game? Where it's like Horizon Dawn?
Horizon Dawn? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It just came out a couple years ago. The sequel comes out this year. Yeah, like she had that haircut from the girl in that game with like the dread and the shaved side.
Man, I would not like to get in a fight with Beth Phoenix. She'd beat the shit out of her.
I wouldn't like to get her looking in a fight.
She was angry.
She
was like, and like, I do find it funny. The thing that's going around on Twitter is like Beth Phoenix wouldn't start walking until her music played. I was like, that's some fucking boss shit though. She's like, I ain't moving.
One thing I will say that I'm loving about Edge, and I got to see it live at SummerSlam, is I love that he's doing the Brood thing.
Yeah. I like it too. I would never not.
That's one of the best theme songs of all time.
Is the best.
And Gangrel should be in the Royal Rumble.
Banging and banging. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Gangrel should be in the Royal Rumble because they've been using the Brood theme song. This is the second time Edge has done Brood shit. Gangrel should be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, all right. Anyway. I'd be fine with that. But yeah,
Johnny Knoxville's going to be first person to declare for the Royal Rumble. Johnny Knoxville.
Can I declare for the Royal Rumble if I just put out a video on Instagram?
So. Well, they're coming out with the last Jackass movie this year, so I think that's going to be the reason.
WWE are very always behind on things. Kids don't care about Johnny Knoxville anymore. Just saying. Like teenagers probably don't even know who Johnny Knoxville is. I know what you're thinking.
No, but you don't think they'll go see a Jackass movie?
A bunch of 50-year-olds doing...
I mean, those movies were popular.
In 2004, they were popular.
It's true, but a movie about a bunch of people purposefully hurting themselves doing crazy dumb shit.
I get it. I'm not against. By the way, I'm not against Johnny Knoxville being in the Rumble. I don't. Obviously, he's not going to win.
I think he should do something with Omos.
Yeah, right. That'd be
have
fun.
Omos. Knoxville almost kills himself during Jackass all the time. Like have Omos really just do something crazy, like throw him.
Johnny Knoxville would do it. He won't care.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, why
not? But yeah, Johnny Knoxville is in the Rumble. One thing before we move on with Edge and that, yes or no answer, I guess. But are you excited for a potential mixed tag match?
Oh, 100%.
I
thought the match. I thought the match was solid. I would say solid. Yeah. Whatever. But I liked it more that it basically let you know that this is where we're going. We're gonna have
is that
a
the Rumble
tag,
for you?
Likely at the Rumble.
Yeah,
I think so.
Why
not? With the 2 Rumble matches, you only really have 3 or 4 maybe other matches.
True.
That's an attraction match to me because the Maurice isn't a regular performer either. So to me,
no, she's not.
That's an attraction match. You have Beth Phoenix coming back. You have Maurice wrestling, which is something she doesn't do often. And you have Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth.
And Edge and Beth have never teamed together because we never thought that Edge could wrestle again. So
exactly. So to me, that's a big time attraction match to me. I would be.
By the way, Beth Phoenix to me could just be inserted back into the women's division. I'd be like, yep, no problem.
Yep. I mean, she's not doing NXT commentary anymore,
which I'm still pissed about because I really liked her commentary. I thought they scratch that. I liked that team. I like that. I do like how they're just a 2-man team now in NXT too.
I do too.
It kind of changes.
I like Vic a lot. Vic's been my boy for a while. I think
I like Vic. He
I
got a
think he
little.
got kind of they kicked him out of Raw a little too early.
I agree.
I liked him.
I agree.
I liked him.
And I like Barrett. Really like Wade Barrett.
Yeah. Well,
I think
Barrett's.
he's
I talk about somebody that I wouldn't mind seeing wrestle again is Wade Barrett.
Me too.
I like Wade
Me
Barrett
too,
a
Fred.
lot.
But yeah, Beth Phoenix is a person that I'm like, can she just wrestle? Because she's awesome.
She was awesome. She busted her head open, but she was awesome in the Royal Rumble match last year or 2 years ago.
I guess it's possible when they're just kind of around at the Rumble. Maybe we'll see Beth and Maurice in the Rumble as well.
Why not?
Maurice has never done it.
What on the main roster? I think they only have 19 women currently.
And 2 of those are
30 women Rumble roster. So
2 of those are champions.
So 17.
And then if you have a title match on each, that's maybe take another 2 out of that. You got 15.
Yep.
That means that we get surprises. I know it's a horrible situation.
We're gonna need some NXT people. We're gonna need some returns. We're gonna need, that's what we're gonna need. Ooh. So if Beth is there in a mixed tag match, why not?
Can't wait.
Why wouldn't she want to be like? Why wouldn't she want to be like? Yeah, I want to get in the. I want to. Yeah, if I can win the title, throw me in the Rumble after.
Maurice in there. I want to see. You know who I want to see in the Rumble this year? Melina Perez. Get Melina in the Rumble. She's probably one of the only divas that really hasn't gotten their flowers yet.
Yeah,
Michelle's been in it.
Either of the. Yeah.
Michelle has been in it. Beth, Mickey.
You know who I would like to see? I know she retired, but I would like to see Layla make a return.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But I want to see Lay Cool just together.
Yeah. Lay Cool would be. I love them when they ripped the belt in half.
That was and it was perfectly.
Yeah, it was like a perfect diagonal cut. I'm like, that was natural.
Oh my god, they were the best.
I'm like, they just ripped it that way. That's how that happened. Just perfectly cut like.
They were shining light in a time where women did not get a microphone. Mm-hmm. They got a promo every single week.
You were on one of the early episodes of Between Two Beards, and we had a women's wrestling draft. And they were my last pick in the last round. The 5th round, I took them because you could take teams. And when I took them, you specifically were like, that's a good pick. And
yeah, because I had the Bellas and the inspiration and all of that. And then I was like, Lay Cool.
And I didn't have any teams. I had taken 4 single women wrestlers. And then I was like, you guys have 8 people a team. I got 4. I was like, so you know what? I'm taking a team. And they were both available.
Rules to my advantage. I didn't cheat. You told me I could take
teams. We made it clear. Yeah, I know. Nobody was doing anything dastardly or anything like that. It was all within the rules. But I was like, I need a friggin' team. Because I'm out-womaned. And I was like, you know what? They're still there. I'm doing it. I could have just taken McCool by herself, but I was like, no, you not doing it.
You need both of them. Yeah. But moving away from wrestling for a minute, I wasn't really going to talk about this on air, but since we were talking about it before, we're talking about basketball because apparently I'm a sports fan now. As you can see, I'm wearing a NBA.
A team I don't like. Hat.
It's Brooklyn, guys.
But again, I'm the sports fan that I've been in Massachusetts my whole life. There's teams that I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't care about. They're fine. But the teams that are rivals of my teams, they all can run hell. I'm that typical guy that's like, no.
I said to JPJ earlier, I don't think I've ever watched a full game of basketball in my life, but I like their snapbacks and I like some of their jerseys. I've got a lot of shirts. Because they have cool merch and I'm into it. So my older brother loves basketball and he's like, yeah, you can kind of get, I said this to you in our little pre-chat, you can kind of get away with wearing nearly any kind of NBA merch because there's not really many teams that are shunned upon where it's like, oh my God, everybody hates that team. Don't wear that. Mm-hmm. You can kind of get away. I like the cool, this snapback is my favorite because it's just got a cool design. I like this hat. But yeah, so apparently I like NBA. And some people are surprised when I wear NBA stuff, and then they ask me NBA questions, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I like the NBA, so if you ever have any stuff, you can ask me. I can.
Maybe I should become a sports fan and just start watching all these different sports, and everyone be like, "This little homo over here loves some sport." I can say it, guys. I'm allowed to say it. But I just find that very ironic because it's so against the stereotypes. And you know how I am with stereotypes. I love just making them suck my farts. You know what I mean? I love it when people are like, wait, what? You listen to all this kind of music? Because I listen to a lot of I listen to all different kinds of music, but I love me some hardcore music. Post-hardcore is one of my favorite genres of music. And people are like, Like I have a little car, very stereotypical.
Yeah.
But I have a little car, and then I'm like have the windows down, and I'll drive past someone, and they'll be like, "What? I was not expecting that music to be coming out of that little
To
car."
come out
And
of the
I'm like,
car. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
That's
I
funny.
love bursting some stereotypes. The only stereotype that I live by that I'll always just be like, yeah, is that I love Lady Gaga, and I don't care. I mean, she's just wow.
She's
Just
like a
holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, she's super amazing and talented anyway, but like she's
I just like her moral,
a hero.
Yeah.
She's a hero of sorts in
this community. Oh my god,
Born This Way and like all. Yeah, she's like,
she is the epitome of just being yourself. It's not even about being like your sexuality. Just be who you want to be. Like the bitch wore a meat dress and was like, you got a problem? Fight me. And just like she's very. Some of the stuff, the work that she advocates for is just really like, whoa, I want to be that kind of human being. I wish I was that good of a person. And honestly, a lot of people don't see her talent. Girl can sing. My God, can that girl sing?
Pipes.
My God. A lot of people see like the glitz and the glamour and all the upbeat kind of stuff, and that's really fun. But you get Lady Gaga with just a piano and her voice, and I'm just like,
it's up there. It's up there. It's a very, she has pipes big time.
She's got to be one of the highest grossing female artists of all time, right?
Oh, I would think so.
I'm going to look it up.
I mean, she has to at least be near the top. Who's at the top? Probably Mariah Carey.
Highest grossing female.
I would think Mariah Carey be one.
Would it be Taylor?
Maybe not. In today's world, I feel like maybe a more
Taylor Swift.
Maybe a more. Oh yeah.
Beyonce, would she be in there? Let's see.
Yeah,
number one.
I would guess.
Taylor's number 3. Rihanna's number 2. Madonna. Oh yeah, I guess Madonna.
Duh. Yeah, that makes
Britney?
sense.
Is Britney in there?
I would think Britney would be.
Mariah Carey's number 4. This is according to Billboard. Whitney Houston is in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mariah, Whitney, Celine Dion, big time.
Barbra Streisand. Oh yeah.
Would Adele be up there?
Barbra Streisand. Katy Perry's in the top 10. Adele's in the top 10.
Wow, yeah. I mean, she had a good
Gaga.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else is in there? Beyonce.
Yeah, we haven't got to Britney yet though.
Britney's not even in the top 12. Nicki Minaj is in there.
I feel like anybody who's like a.
This is according to Billboard, by the way, guys. So it's not like that was a Billboard list.
I feel like in today's world, if you came out nowadays or within the last decade, you would probably gross more money.
But Ariana Grande's not in there.
Today's culture.
And you would think with the level of success that Ariana Grande's had, maybe in the next 10 years, that would be someone that's probably listed in that.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like things are more expensive nowadays, A, and then B, a lot more people have a lot more I'm gonna not think of the right word, but it's a lot easier to find people. Like in Madonna's height, if you wanted to own Madonna's music, you had to go to the record store and buy Madonna's music.
I'm not a Madonna guy.
But
honestly, she's just like a step before my time. Like, obviously, she's still making music now, but like no one really listens to Madonna anymore.
So the thing with Madonna, right? The influence is almost more important, right? If there's no Madonna, you could argue there probably
wouldn't be a Britney.
Maybe would not be a Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga.
I always say Lady
Gaga.
I always say Lady Gaga too.
I say Lady Gaga or Gags.
Gags.
I go Gags. You talking about Gags?
Miss Gaga. But there'd be no Britney. Because I think
like all
Madonna
that stuff.
Was a precursor to what Britney
Madonna was the pioneer of like, oh, I didn't know women showed them. Like I didn't know
she was very sexualized, but in a way that was empowering to her.
Correct.
It wasn't sexualized.
And she did that in the 80s. Yeah. She did that in the 80s where it was like, oh, women typically don't do that. And Madonna's attitude was, well, fuck you. I don't care.
I do what I want.
And it was like, well, this is badass. And then
especially to women, I couldn't. I'm not a woman, obviously, but I could imagine as a woman to be like, it's okay to do that kind of stuff and still be classy and still be. Madonna really revolutionized an industry, to be completely honest. I'm not a Madonna. I can't really. I could probably name 5 Madonna songs that I genuinely am like, that's okay.
I bet you could name more.
I could name more, but not that Madonna. I love.
Oh, that you love. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
could probably name like a few that I actually like, and then the rest is like, yeah.
Yeah.
I do kind of like that she's Madonna is. I mean this in an endearing way. She's kind of selfish, but in a good way of like taking things that she feels that are rightful to her. Mariah Carey does it too. Um,
Hmm.
but I kind of like that about people because a lot of people are like, well, they're a bitch. I'm like, no, they're just claiming what they've earned. And
Yeah.
if you want to come
They
across
want
as
what's
a
this.
bitch because of that, well, they've earned it. Mariah Carey, a lot of people say stuff about Mariah Carey. She's a diva and she's all these things, but she is one of the greatest vocalists I've ever heard. And I think anyone that
Hmm.
doesn't agree with me is probably lying to themselves. I'm not a big Mariah Carey fan, to be honest, but my God, who can sing? Who can sing like that? The only
I
one that
mean,
I can
that
is
album, the
Grande.
Daydream album, is
I
it's
mean,
a
yeah, but I mean, one of her
one
great.
sweet day.
Remember Hero, the song Hero, and then a hero comes along and the strength
Oh,
to
I did. I thought you were
carry
talking about the
on.
great song "Hero" by Josie Scott and Chad Kroger for the Spider-Man
From the
soundtrack.
Spider-Man movie, what a movie! Let's
Yeah,
talk about Nickelback for
yeah.
a minute because people shit on Nickelback,
Oh, I
and
saw
I don't
this
care.
rant. I was like, I love you, Josh, but
Bitch,
no.
come the fuck on, all right? A lot of people hate Nickelback and they're all this. Nickelback
I
have
don't know
some
why people
bangers.
hate them. Yeah,
I don't think they're the greatest
hate is
band in the
strong.
world. Calm down. They have a lot of songs that are very average. But their songs that fucking go hard, they go pretty fucking hard. Don't tell me you haven't got down to Rockstar or you haven't got down to If Today Was Your Last Day. Come the fuck on.
I haven't. I can
Come
tell
the
you, I
fuck
haven't.
on.
If
Burn
I'm
It to the
being honest with
Ground.
you.
That was a Raw theme for a long
See,
time.
that's the later Nickelback. I was already out on that Nickelback. The Nickelback that I know was, you remind me,
How You Remind Me is
you
a
know,
top tier song.
Photograph, the early Nickelback. The
Photograph
early
is
Nickelback.
okay. I'm not saying I'm
No,
not advocating that Nickelback are a great band.
well,
They're
I
not,
I think I
but
think the
they
issue
slap.
arises. Do you know who, for the decade of the 2000s, do you know who Rolling Stone magazine said was the band of the decade?
Please don't say it was Nickelback.
It was Oh
Oh no 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 no.
yeah, yeah,
That's
that
not
happened.
that's not a
Rolling
count.
Stone magazine,
No 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 no. Rolling Stone, what are you
probably
doing?
the most important, influential music magazine of all time.
Yeah.
The band of the 2000s,
No. No 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 no.
Nickelback.
Okay,
Told
so
you.
obviously this is really fun to talk about because we're a difference in age. So we grew up in two very different eras. You grew up in
Yeah,
the sound of the 90s and I grew up in the sound of the 2000s, really. Um
yeah,
I was a kid. Well, I won't say kid. I was a preteen kind of teen that listened to a lot of punk rock. That was my thing. It still is my thing to this day. If anyone asks me what my genre of music that I adore and I have to pick a genre, it's pop punk, it's punk rock. That's
I was gonna
what I
say. I was gonna
love.
say. Are we
It's
talking more pop punk than
it's probably
punk, or like
more
actual?
it's probably more pop punk than punk, but like
Yeah. I mean,
all
I'm a
of that
pop
kind
punk
of
kid. I mean, I'm not a
I
kid
mean,
anymore, but I'm
come
a
the
pop
fuck
punk
on.
kid too.
Obviously,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
obvious
Yeah.
reasons, by the way that I listen to music, I think people could kind of pinpoint, okay, he's a pop
Yeah.
punk kind of kid. I just think there's no greater genre of music to watch live than pop punk. Like, it's just it's so energetic and fun. Like, and it's emotional and it's everything you want when you're a teenager because you're a hormonal
Yeah.
kid who's going through puberty and you're like, I hate life and I want to punch
Yeah.
my
I'm so
parents in the
sad.
face.
But yeah, like, oh, I
But
hate all
obviously,
this.
I
But then
want to
you're
like,
like, oh, but I can still like, yeah, you
yeah,
can get
like
angry, but you can
My
still like
Chemical
bop and kind of be
Romance.
like, cool.
My Chemical Romance is what I grew up on. Paramore, obviously. Simple Plan. I loved Simple Plan as a kid. Oh my
Simple
god.
Plan was
I
good,
still
man.
like Simple Plan.
I
Sum
was a
41. Come the
Sum
fuck
41.
on.
What
I
were
liked
your
all of it.
opinions on Good Charlotte?
I
You like
liked
Good Charlotte?
earlier Good Charlotte. Later Good Charlotte, when they
Yeah.
full went dance music, I was like, I don't hate
Yeah.
I love dance music, but not from Good Charlotte. When they brought out
Yeah.
Dance Floor Anthem, I wanted to vomit. Remember that song? Like,
I actually don't. I think I was probably already off the
You
Good
would have
Charlotte
been, probably.
bandwagon at
But
that point.
like their earlier stuff, like how could you hate Good Charlotte in the earlier
The an
2000s?
like,
The
you hear the
anthems.
anthem and you're like, "Yo, this is a banger. This
Girls
is
and
an
boys.
absolute all-time pop punk
Girls
banger."
like
Absolute.
girls don't like boys. Girls
Yep.
like cars
But
with
even so,
money.
so this is funny. So I want to say again, I'm terrible with, but I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago. Good Charlotte went on a tour,
Mm.
and they came to Boston, and they had the two main support bands were current pop punk bands that are still current, and they're two of my favorite bands. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to go really going for these two bands, but like, it's Good Charlotte. Like, this is going to be cool as shit. And my sister, when she was younger, was a big Good Charlotte person. So I was like, hey, you want to come with me? So it was me, my sister, and a good friend of mine. And it was one of those things where when Good Charlotte played, I had almost forgotten how many hits they truly had.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Because they played for like an hour and a half, and they played almost every, like, I obviously knew I was waiting for the anthem. I obviously knew I was waiting for Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous.
Yeah.
I obviously knew I was waiting for Little Things. Like, those are the songs I'm like, oh yeah. But then I forgot, like, oh shit, The River. That's a pretty decent song.
Oh my God.
Do you remember that song?
Yeah, I remember.
But I bet
that
you
song.
if when we get off here, if you listen to that, you're gonna be like, this is a banger. I was like, yeah.
I
they
love
just kept
doing
on
that when you
layering
press
in.
shuffle on Spotify of a band or of an artist, whatever. You just press shuffle on their library, and you're like, "Oh my God, I remember this
song." And they just kept going, and they were playing all these songs, and it would start, and I would just be like, in my own, like, to myself, just like, I forgot about this fucking song.
Oh, that's my.
And then I would obviously know every lyric still, like, of course. But I was like, man, I forgot this song existed. And then I listened to nothing but Good Charlotte for like a month straight.
Yeah.
Exactly
so when
happened.
it must have been 2011 when I went to my second Paramore show. Obviously I'd already seen them once, but this was just after one of your favorite Paramore albums, Brand New Eyes. I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. So it must be 2010 actually, because that came out in 2009. Yeah, it would have been 2010. Yeah. Come to Adelaide, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go and obviously watch Paramore because I love them. I was 15 at the time. Like, I was like, I'm starting to get into going to concerts. I'm like prime age. Yeah. So me and my friends went. The opening bands were two bands at the time that I had never heard of.
Yeah, probably big ones now. Yeah,
21 Pilots and You Me at 6 were the two opening support acts. And now everyone knows 21 Pilots, especially. But people know You Me at 6 a lot. I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know who these bands are, but I'm like, they're kind of rocking. 4 years later, 21 Pilots are bringing out Stressed Out, and it's one of the biggest songs in the world. And you're like, wow, I seen them opening for Paramore when Paramore were arguably in their height.
So the crazy thing is, because of our age difference, I was going to Newfound Glory shows or Blink-182 shows. I love Newfound Glory, one of my all-time favorite bands. I was going to Newfound Glory or Blink-182 shows, and like Newfound Glory, I saw Paramore as an opening band for them and had no idea who Paramore was.
Because
the first time I ever saw Fall Out Boy, this was before they blew up to like mega.
Fall Out Boy, hell yeah.
The first time I ever saw Fall Out Boy, do you know who the opening band was that I had no idea? They weren't on the radio yet. The opening band was Panic at the Disco.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
And
I was in that wheelhouse, man. I was in that wheelhouse.
That's and it is crazy.
All these bands came out 2001, 2002, 2003. I'm 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Just leaving high school.
Your prime age.
Figuring shit out. I'm in the prime of my becoming an adult, figuring life out.
Yeah.
And you got these pop punk, and I was a little bit into the screamo too. I like heavier music too. Yeah. So like Silverstein, Census Fail, Under Oath, all these bands, Alexis on Fire, plus all just the pop punk ones. I saw bands that became huge bands before I even know they were. I saw A Day to Remember open for The Used, and they played for 20 fucking minutes. You understand?
So and I'm like, insane, isn't it?
And I'm like, I don't know who this is. They were good though. They were good. I'll
that's
remember
how I was
that
with 21
name.
Pilots. I was like, oh, they're
and then
good.
You fast forward 10, 15 years, you can make an argument that like A Day to Remember is like,
everyone knows
most successful screamo band or
one of. In that upper echelon.
In that upper, like, you know what I mean? Like, they got like kind of legitimately famous. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what? I saw Coheed and Cambria, who's one of the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
I saw them open for Thursday.
Oh my God.
And yes, exactly.
No offense, but like,
in a fucking room in a town called Worcester, Massachusetts with 200 kids.
It is kind of crazy because when I seen 21 Pilots, I'm 4 years older than my sister. That is her favorite band ever, 21 Pilots. And I'm like, Shaylee, I seen them open for I seen them come on before You Me at 6, before Paramore. Like, they were the opener to the opener of the actual show. And when she started listening to them, they were like, you know, Blurry Face had just came out, and I love 21 Pilots.
They were already, you know,
I'm
they
like,
were
I
getting
seen
to
them when they
their level.
weren't like,
they were nobody. You didn't even know who they were.
It's like, I didn't know who they were. Like, it was irrelevant to me who was the opening act. But like, the beauty of me and my older brother being so far apart in age, him being nearly 7 years older than me, is he listened to a lot of music when I was young. So I was influenced from a very young age of like, my brother's favorite band ever is The Offspring. So I listened to The Offspring from like 7 years old. So I grew up listening to The Offspring, and I grew up listening to Blink-182, and I grew up listening to Alexis on Fire. My brother loves Alexis on Fire.
I love no, they're one of my
he loves City and Color too. So like, it's just all
it's the same.
It's you know what I mean. But like he loves all of that kind of stuff. Like, my brother growing up, still does now, played the acoustic guitar. So I would sit in my brother's bedroom with him, and he would play the guitar and play all these songs. And I just, even subconsciously, I was just taking in all of this information. And I think that's why my genre of music is so open. I listen to bubblegum pop to screamo, is because I've just been so open as a kid to listening, because you would listen to The Offspring with my brother, then I'd get in the car with my mum and she'd be listening to Pink. So I'd be like, what are all these? And then when you start to form an opinion of music, I kind of am so diverse with music, and I'm openly just like, I listen to this and this and this. Like, it doesn't really bother me. And I like that about that. I feel like that's a strong trait of mine, is my music taste is so broad. I'm not shitting on anyone for liking one kind of music, but I'll give anything a go. I think you like your kind of music that you like, and I do as well. But like, if you hear like a song by, I don't know, fucking Katy Perry, and it's good, you'll be like, this is a good fucking song. I don't feel like you're just ashamed of it. It's pop, so you're like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
No. I used to be like that. I used to be.
I went through that
when I was
too.
the 18, 19, 20-year-old kid going to these shows. I was like that. Even when I was younger, I was the kid yelling. I was the kid watching TRL.
Yeah.
Rooting for Korn and Limp Bizkit, and my sister was like, Backstreet Boys, and I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, I was that person.
Yeah.
Like, now in my older age, yes. Like, I think, honestly, like, one of my favorite songs of all time is Dancing on My Own by Robin.
Oh, I mean, the Callum Scott version is better.
Very good. Very good.
Just hits you
I will accept. I mean, I'm not going to accept that argument, because I like the Robin version. So that, to me, I don't agree, but I will accept that argument, because that's a very good voice on that gentleman.
Callum Scott has when he sang that, I think it was on Britain's Got
it was
Talent.
on it was on
Britain
like
Got
a
Talent,
Simon Cowell was there. I don't know what
X
show
Factor
it was,
or something in the UK.
Yeah, it was the British version of whatever.
And when
Cowell was doing,
when he sang that, I'm like, this, because that song, Dancing on My Own, is, while it is emotional to a degree, it's certainly not heart wrenching when you listen. No,
it's a dance. It's presented as a dance. It's a dance song. It's just a sad,
I heard Dancing on My Own from him before I heard it from her. I think a lot of people did.
Really? See, that's probably why it's I'm like, no, I knew the Robin version for
but it's so beautiful
decade.
When that man has
oh my God, yeah,
a person that can sing,
very, very good.
I don't.
You know who also does a really good version of it? That Kings of Leon.
Oh my God, Kings of Leon. Oh my God, I performed
Sex on Fire, babe.
So when I was in my teen years at school, I used to sing a lot. Obviously, everyone knows I have my own song from school. But I used to perform in a lot of showcases. I used to kind of play piano, but I used to, me and my best friend from school, who's the only person I still talk to from school to this day, still one of my best friends. She performs, like, she's got a beautiful voice, and she plays guitar, very indie kind of style. She's a beautiful singer and songwriter and everything like that. Shout out to my friend Millie. She's a great lady. I've watched her go through a lot. It's so weird because a lot of people don't expect us, but my best friend is a lesbian and I'm a gay man. All right. Stereotypically, we don't get along. We don't have a lot of common interests. But it's just, she came out a lot longer before than I did. And we'd been friends for 15 years. It's my only friend from school. It's really, I don't know how many people listening relate to this, but when you have that one friend that you still talk to from school, The bond is kind of like we're the kind of friends that cannot talk for 4 months and then talk like nothing.
It's just like nothing ever. Like nothing happened
because we were kids when we met. So, but anyway, we used to sing together and perform at a lot of school showcases, like talent shows and stuff like that. I performed "Use Somebody" by Kings of Leon. If I get my vocal cords warmed up, I can hold a tune. I'm not saying I can sing, guys, but I can hold a tune enough to get me through. It's passable. But yeah, it's Kings of Leon. Sex on Fire is
they got super big with that album. It's a good album.
Use Somebody is a great song. I love Shawn Mendes does a great version of that song. I love a good cover.
Well, you should look up the Dancing on My Own from Kings of Leon. I will. It's a live version. They never recorded. It's a live.
Yeah, the Shawn Mendes version of Use Somebody is a live version. Actually, that's your task. I'll listen to the Kings of Leon version of Dancing on My Own. You go listen to you know Shawn Mendes, obviously.
I don't listen. I know he had a big. I know he's probably had multiple, but I know one of his big songs. I'm not going to try to even
great
sing
Canadian man.
As Spencer Love would say, a great Canadian.
There is a lot of great Canadian talent, wrestling and non-wrestling. Canadian people are talented folk. Justin Bieber is Canadian.
They're usually Bieber. Yeah,
and he's one of the biggest pop stars in the fucking world.
Yeah, he is. There's a lot of
Shania Twain. I love
talented Shania Twain, Celine Dion, Alanis Morissette. Morissette, also Canadian.
Morissette. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
Well, speaking of that, there's a really good documentary that came out on HBO about her.
Really?
It's called Jagged.
Oh.
Yes. So HBO. They did like a 4-part music documentary series. One of them was on Woodstock 99, which was a shit show. One of them was on one of them was on Alanis Morissette. It's on Jagged Little Pill and that album in general, which is an all-time. Album has like 8 hits on it. 8.
I mean, that album, even if you're not an Alanis Morissette person, you have to recognize that album is one of the greatest albums of all time.
Like that, it's a 13-song album, and 8 of them were #1 hits.
That's ridiculous.
That's unheard of. Unheard of. And we were talking about Madonna being a trailblazer and things like that. Like Alanis Morissette, that shit was in the mid-90s, and she was talking about, and they talk about it in the documentary. If you have HBO, I would recommend it. It's like an hour and a half.
Guys, for anyone that doesn't get because we don't get HBO in Australia, for my Australian people, I believe that would be HBO would be on Binge. So if you download Binge, the app, it's a streaming service. If you download Binge, that shows a lot of HBO stuff. So Binge would probably be the place to find that kind of stuff, or Stan. Yeah, one of those for my Australian people.
It's called Jagged. Well worth the watch. Well worth the watch. It was very, very good. It just talks about her, obviously, and her past, but that album specifically, and like
it's like mid-90s, like on your wedding day,
mid 90s and things like that. Like,
come on.
Here was this 7. She was younger. I'm not going to pretend to age, but she was somewhere in the 17 to 20, 21 type age. Like she was younger,
that demo,
and she came out firing. And this album is like, she's angry on that album. She talks about things that, like one of the lines that you ought to know is like talking about her going down on a dude in a movie theater. And that's like not things that women specifically,
in that time,
that's not things that they openly sang or talked about in the night. Like that was like, no, I don't fucking talk about that. And she was like, well, again, like Madonna, fuck you. I don't care.
Britney came out and did that after as well. Britney, remember when I'm a Slave
it's like
for
a
You
progression.
Do you remember when I'm a Slave for You came out? Everyone's like, Britney's a slut. Britney's a whore.
Yeah, exactly.
Britney was just like, I'm just embracing my femininity.
This is who I am.
Sexuality. Yeah. Like, it's not a bad thing. A lot of female artists get really ridiculed, but if a man does it, doesn't matter. What a player.
Yeah, if a man does it,
what a guy, what a
player.
stud. Yeah. Fucking give me the knuckles, brother.
A guy goes and has,
sex with a lot of women,
free living, and has sex with a lot of people. He's a stud, or he's a player, or he's whatever. A girl goes and has sex with a bunch of people, she's a whore.
I don't get it.
So
I personally, I think it's like, this is such a
dumb is what it is.
This is I get really heated about this kind of stuff, but like, we all should celebrate the fact that we're having sex. Sex is normal part of life. So why is it that women get attacked for that when they're just enjoying their lives? Who gives a fuck? Fuck as many people as you want to.
Here's the thing. A lot of things that people have the most issues with doesn't affect them at all. Like who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know, like you're a homosexual man. There are people that don't like you, who don't know who you are, that don't know anything about you. What you do in your house, bed, wherever, literally has no effect on their life. No effect.
I know.
On their lives at all. But because you love what you love, they don't, that's it. And it's like, bro, like, first of all, why do you care?
You don't know me.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Like, how does this affect your life at all?
Yeah. Trust me,
no.
It's
just the dumbest shit. I feel like the majority of humans, the things they really get angry about are like the most minuscule things that at the end of the day, like if it doesn't really affect you, what the fuck do you care?
Why does it matter if Sally from down the street fucks 6 dudes in 3 days? Doesn't matter.
Correct.
Literally does not change your life.
You still wake up and go to work the next day?
To be completely honest, that you're not having that much action.
Yeah, like it's just like when people care about things like that, like whether people, are gay, straight, whatever, or they're sleeping with a bunch. It
doesn't matter.
It doesn't affect anybody. Who cares? They're living their lives. You're living your life. What the fuck do you care what they're doing? As long as they're not bothering, it's just,
It's not like they're having sex on your front fucking lawn. Like, come on.
Exactly. It's not like, it's not like you go out for have breakfast in the morning and they're just doing it on your sofa.
No. It doesn't matter.
That's not what it is. They're over in their own world, not near you at all.
It doesn't affect
Most likely,
you.
They wouldn't even want you if they could have you.
Exactly.
And you're just like, whatever your opinion is. That's just the dumbest shit.
I don't care. Shit. I'm all about like when people, I think I've said this in a rant on Unhinged, when people shame sex workers for what they do for a living. It's no different to me how I earn my money. If they want to earn their money by flapping their doodle around on OnlyFans or showing their boobies or whatever, who cares? If I could do it, I would do it because it would be a much easier job than I'm doing now. Much easier. So, and you make a lot more money. So good for them. I'm envious of their role because I'd be like, damn, I wish I could have sex on camera and look that good. And I just
make
nothing is more terrifying to me. Nothing is more terrifying than watching myself have sex. No fucking thank you. I would throw up if I seen I would never. If anyone ever asked me to film anything, I'm like, no, thank you, not interested.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Yeah, my mindset is the same as that. I'd be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't want to do that.
I'm good. Nothing would be more unappealing to me.
Yeah, just chilling.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here to talking about sex workers, and just sex in general. I'm not afraid. It doesn't make me uncomfortable to talk about that kind of stuff. Some people hear that word and it's like, oh, you can't talk about that. I'm like, I don't. It's normal part of life.
People do it. It's literally part of the human experience.
A day-to-day experience for a lot of people. I'm not saying I get it on a day-to-day experience. I wish, but I mean,
don't we all?
Who doesn't want that? I think people are the happiest when they're having good sex. So it depends. I guess it explains why I'm just such a fucking sad person sometimes.
Well, you and me are curmudgeons on here every week, huh, boy?
We're just always depressed and ranting about wrestling. Is because we're just like we just need we just need good sex, and then we probably won't even watch wrestling anymore. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I think maybe that's the reason why we're not actually getting anything is because we watch so much professional fucking wrestling.
It's true.
I'm sorry, I watch men fight in their underwear a lot. I'm not getting any men in their underwear in my own.
Yeah. What are you doing Sunday? You want to go get a drink?
I'm sorry,
but there's a pay-per-view on. There's a pay-per-view on. I can't. I got to stay home and watch wrestling. Okay.
Oh man, Jesus Christ! We just had an epiphany moment of like, oh no, this is
bad. It's true.
Oh well,
unreal.
Anyway, so the moral of this episode, guys, listen to good music.
Yep.
Stop caring so much about little things in wrestling, and get some fucking good ass, and you'll be happy.
Yes.
You'll be a happy camper. Men, women, non-binary, doesn't matter. Get your shit in.
And stop giving a shit about things that you shouldn't give a shit about.
Yeah. I mean, that's easier said than done. But yeah, I agree 100%. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
I agree 1,000%. I'm just driving over here. And I guess, fuck stereotypes. Gay men, watch some sport. Love it. Actually, to be completely honest.
We got a new NBA fan right here on the show.
Completely honest, it is such a stereotype that gay men don't love sport because 90% of them do, because a lot of their Tinder profiles even said they're like, I'm a sports fan. And a lot of men that I talk to are like, I want to go home and watch some footy when I get home. And I'm like, oh, great. Great. I just do this. But no, I like football.
Like, oh.
I like Australian rules football. That's what we need to exchange, by the way. That's what I was going to say before. I'll send you some Adelaide Crows AFL gear and you can send me some Boston stuff from the NBA. And I'll just be like, we'll do a little trade off here. And I'll be like, you can be an Adelaide guy. I'll be a Boston guy. And I mean, Boston is green, right? Their color's green.
The Celtics are.
Yeah.
We have all different colors.
But like the Celtics are green.
Well, no. The Celtics are green. I would, and then we have the Boston Red Sox. Those are probably the two main. So Celtics are green, Red Sox, and the Bruins are yellow. The hockey team is.
But I love green. Green is a great color. So.
Oh yeah, so it's just green and green and white or green and black. They have
Adelaide
green,
Crows are like
trim.
They're a lot of red and navy blue. So.
Okay.
Who doesn't hate that? Yeah. Red is a good color.
No, I know. Yeah, red is a good color.
Red is so versatile. Also, before we run away today, I have to tell you. I had to block your Instagram account because it kept messaging me.
I told you.
I had to block it. I told
everybody on here.
I had to block it though because it kept messaging me saying like, sign up for Amazon and you'll get $500. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. So hopefully I reported it multiple times. I don't think you're getting it back.
I'm not.
I think it's just time to.
They tricked two people that I know got tricked by it and they got their accounts hacked too. But they were able to get their account back within the next day. Oh. And I've been sitting here for 2 weeks and I can't get my damn account back. Oh, it's pissing me off.
I think it's time to pack it in and get a new one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna probably have to just create another one and just go from there. Sad.
That's sad. That's not fun.
It is what it is. Things happen.
It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But what can you do? Well, that's gonna wrap us up for this week, friends. Next week, I'll even say it right now. We're gonna do a little pop quiz next week. We're gonna get some just random questions each, 10 questions each, and we're gonna see how many we can get right, and we're gonna quiz each other. I'll put some hard ones, some easy ones. I don't know. We're just gonna do a variety of random questions. They're gonna be about anything. If anyone's watched Off Her Chops, you know that I'm a fan for obvious reasons of those two ladies, and they do it every other week, and it's really fun. And I was like, hey, let's borrow this idea from them. And do it here. So we're going to do a little pop quiz next week. So I'm going to quiz JPJ. He's going to quiz me. Who knows what's really going to happen? It'll just be all in good fun. But it'll be an interesting episode because it's not something we've really ever done.
No, when you mentioned it off air, I was like, oh, that'll be really fun. Like that. That'll be fun.
Something else to do.
That sounds like it would be a...
Yeah. And then, guys...
So that should be a fun one.
In the next few weeks... Obviously, we're going to have a full episode dedicated to the Royal Rumble. We're going to do a big Rumble episode where we just talk about favorite Rumble memories, moments, favorite Rumble matches, predictions for this year's Rumble. We're going to give our final, we're going to talk about who we think we want to win and stuff, but we're going to have the week of the Royal Rumble. We'll make sure that we go, this is our picks. And this is what we're kind of locked in. What number's going to win? Who's going to last the longest? We're going to talk about all of that the week of the Rumble so we can hype that up. The week of the episode before the Royal Rumble, we'll do that. That's also the week the Legacy of is coming back. So it's going to be a very... we've said this so many times. There is nothing more exciting in wrestling than the Royal Rumble matches.
Oh, I love it.
So we are... When I seen that ad on day one, I was like, oh, shit. Oh, look who's here.
Oh, it's time. Oh, Giddy's making an appearance.
Come on, love.
Right on the outro.
Do you really have to do this right now?
Yeah, yes, she does. Yep.
No problemo. Just knock my mic so you get all the feedback through it. It's no problem. I haven't fed her this morning. She probably wants some breakfast.
Oh, gotcha.
She's probably like, hey.
Lou, it's nighttime here. So Lou is waiting. Usually around 7 or 8, I do the nighttime scoop, and I can hear him kind of running up and down the hallway.
She come down she like there's like a little gap in between where my monitor sits and where like the right near my in my hallway, and I looked at her, and she was like,
Yeah.
"That bowl's empty. I need that filled
Yeah.
up." And then she'll go up in the
She's like,
top
"You
room and
wanna-"
not see me again until dinner time, and then whatever
Yeah.
it is. But yeah, she
100%.
wants some food, so I better feed this little one. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you can now rate this podcast, by the way, on Spotify. They do 5-star ratings on Spotify as well as Apple. So make sure you give us a rating on there.
5.
Like, share, subscribe over on YouTube. All of that kind of good stuff. Let me put Kitty down here so she doesn't knock anything over, because she does. And next week I'll give you all of my tips on how to get a great experience out of watching the NBA.
Yes, we can do that. I will have an NBA episode on here. I can talk.
I'll be like,
let's go.
Josh Giddey. That's the only one I know. Yes, guys, there is a player in the NBA named Josh Giddey, and he did play for Adelaide. He's an Australian lad.
And
He's
look
19 years old.
Also, yeah, he got youngest player in the history of the league to get a triple-double. Like a triple-double is good.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
So a triple-double means that he got double digits of 3 stat categories. So he got 10 or more points, 10 or more rebounds, and 10 or more assists.
Okay, so I think I know what that all means.
That's usually the main 3.
I think I know what that all means.
But when you get a triple-double, that means you get double digits of 3 different stats. So that's not everyone does that. Yeah. Not everyone does that.
I'm assuming, I've only ever seen pictures of him. I'm assuming he's quite a tall lad. He's
usually most of them are young. Yeah. Even the smaller ones to us would be giants.
He's only the 20 years old, so he's a young guy. Giants. And he played for Adelaide. He's originally from Melbourne, but he did live in Adelaide for a long time. So, and his name is Josh Giddey. That is the randomest thing in the world. He has my name and my cat's name. Of course I'm going to stan. What are you talking about? Oh,
it's true.
Before we run away, I do have to say one more thing. Pro Wrestling Tees with their data leak and all of that kind of shit that happened and not telling everybody. But the emergence of What a Maneuver and kind of coming into this space of their of that t-shirt kind of realm, and a lot of people teaming up. Love Wrestling have shirts with What a Maneuver and stuff like that, which is great. And they have a great social media, like top tier stuff, and they're always just ragging on Pro Wrestling Tees. Pro Wrestling Tees did us dirty. Did a lot of it. I didn't get credit card hacked or anything like that. I don't buy that much from Pro Wrestling
I didn't
Tees,
either.
But I mean,
I didn't either.
To not tell your customers when the first data breach happened in April of last year.
I was gonna say, wasn't it like March or April? It was early, right?
And they didn't tell people.
We didn't find out till right before Christmas.
Oh, December, I should say.
Yeah.
Was when they mailed. That is the.
Was it 1950? Mail them. Send an email, bro. It's
the worst way of communicating in the current world. Is sending a letter?
Yeah.
When was the last time you sent a physical letter to somebody? Holy shit, I can't remember. You send an email. Send us a fucking Snapchat. What the fuck are you doing, Pro Wrestling Tees? Message us on Twitter. Do something.
Not
but
good.
Yeah, hopefully we and they still really have said nothing about it.
No, they
very little about it.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not a good look.
And AEW work with them too, which isn't great.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention that. So shout out to Wham. Shout out to What a Maneuver, because they're doing great
well,
stuff.
Speaking of Wham, there'll be some Between Two Beards shirts coming.
Yeah, there might be some Josh Robinson 000 shirts
I would
coming
assume.
as well. I got a new logo and stuff like that now too. So
I did. I like it. I saw it. I like it.
Yeah, Gabe of CFG Streams. I hit him up and he was like, "I'll do it. Let me do it. Let me draw it up." He's a great. He knows how to. And I just said I want something simple, something that's just kind of like really easy on the eye, very very basic kind of stuff, but in a good way. And he gave me that, and it's got like the rainbow in there. The original one looked like the old Nintendo logo. It had gold rings.
Yes.
And then he kind of was like, I can do it kind of like more to you. And then I've got both versions. So there might be a couple of shirts going up on What a Maneuver.
Yeah. So
but between
go follow What a Maneuver. Yeah.
They're gaining a lot of followers too. But yeah, their social media game is muy bien.
I'll have to. Muy bien. Very good.
I know my Spanish now, guys. I'm bilingual. Is that what you would say? Is that what you? No.
Bilingual.
Bilingual when you know two languages, right?
Yes.
So I know muy bien, gracias, sí, hola. That's it.
That's pretty good.
That's all I know.
That's pretty good.
I watched Thunder Rosa eat tacos on the internet now.
Do you know what bathroom? You know bathroom? El Baño?
No. Yeah, see, I know
You
now.
heard El Baño?
El Baño. I might need
You
to
ever
go to
heard
the El
of
Baño after this.
the library? El Biblioteca?
El Biblioteca. See, I just
That's the
sound like
library.
I'm
That means
being
library.
problematic
El
when I say it.
Biblioteca.
My
Yeah.
accent doesn't help me in that.
I had
It
to
just
take. I
sounds like
took.
Did
I
you
say
do
had,
Spanish?
but I took Spanish all 4 years. My 4th year, I was honors. Senior year of high school, I was honors
I did
Spanish.
French at school.
Okay.
I
Here's the thing, though.
don't
If somebody
remember.
came up to me right now and started talking Spanish, I would look at them and be like, I got no idea what you're
I
saying.
have no. I used
No
to know
clue.
French pretty well, and I could get a basic understanding of a sentence. But now I'd be like, what?
Yeah. It's too far. It's too far removed for me that I would be like, I might be able to pick out words, but I would be like, I don't know. I can't. Even though I got good grades.
I can say,
passed this
I
class
think I
for
can
4
still
years.
remember bonjour, je m'appelle Joshua.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I can't really remember. I used to be able to say, like, that means, by the way, is hello, my name is Joshua. I used to be able to say, like, a sentence of, like, I'm doing okay or I'm doing good. I used to be able to say that pretty fluently. Then I could get basic words and put together and go, okay, I think I know that sentence. But yeah, it's been a good, like, solid, like, 10 years since I've done any of that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh well, man, we talked about everything in this episode. God Almighty,
we did, huh? Start talking about foreign languages at the end of it. So
maybe we'll do it.
It is what it is.
Coming soon, a whole episode in another language. Maybe we'll learn another language and do a whole episode in it. It'd be like 15 seconds. Bonjour, je m'appelle Joshua.
Literally. Yeah. Me llamo Jose, and then that would be it. That'd be done.
Oh man! Oh god, I hate.
That's all I got.
I just heard my laugh in my own headphones, and I was like, "Oh, I hate it." Everyone hates the sound of their own laugh, and I'm like, ugh, I hate it. But anyway, happy 2022, guys. Hopefully your year is starting off well. We'll be back next week with our pop quiz, and then we're getting ready for the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah!
Put that buzzer sound in there. Let's go. Let's do it.
I love
Let's
it. I'm so
do it.
ready for it.
We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.